Hello and welcome back to another yoga practice. If it's your first time here, my name is Katie. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're doing a 20-minute beginner yoga practice for the shoulders, chest and heart. This is part of a playlist of 20-minute beginner yoga videos. So if you're trying to incorporate more yoga into your life, I would recommend using that playlist. That way you always know what practice you're doing next. And once you've done all 5 of the practices, you'll have completed yoga for your full body. So with all of that being said, let's get started with our practice today. We're going to do a few rounds of cat and cow. So you can come onto all fours into tabletop pose. Have your fingers spread nice and wide apart, wrists directly below the shoulders and your knees directly below your hips. When you're ready, inhale, point your tailbone up, drop your belly, bring your chest forward and look up. And as you exhale, point your tailbone down, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest and drop your head. Inhale, point the tailbone up again, drop the belly, chest forward, eyes up. Exhale, tailbone down, round the spine, chin to chest, drop the head. Keep going at your own pace. Using each breath here to power your movement. We'll pause the next time that you're in cat pose. So the next time that your spine is rounded and your head is dropped down, stay there and very gently start to press yourself away from your yoga mat. You'll start to feel more of an opening through the shoulders, the back of the heart. Keep breathing and keep pressing out any tightness that you feel there. And then you can inhale, make your way back to cow, tailbone pointed up again, look up, and then we'll make our way back into a normal tabletop pose. Coming into puppy pose now, hands will come more towards the front of the mat, but your hips will stay directly above your knees. Slowly start to drop your chest towards your mat. And again, make sure that you didn't slide back here with your hips towards your heels. They have to stay directly above the knees. Maybe your forehead will come to the mat. And if it does, gently place it down. If not, don't worry. We're only going to stay here for a few breaths, but if it does feel too intense, bend your elbows and drag your hands back a little bit closer to you. And again, here you're opening up your chest and your shoulders and your heart. So take some long breaths in, loosen up any tension, and use your breath out to get it out of your body. We'll prepare to come out of the pose now, so nice and slowly reversing back into tabletop. Here you might need to do just another cat or cow, maybe to release the puppy pose from your shoulders. Now your big toes can come together. Take your knees out wide apart and then sit your hips as best you can onto your heels. Your hands will stay reaching towards the front of your mat, and then forehead can come down to the mat as well. Extended child's pose. Connecting to a few long breaths here. If your mind has drifted away, that's normal. Just find something in your body that it can become interested in instead. Press your fingers down into your mat and use a breath in to pull you back up towards tabletop. But this time, you'll drop just your chest in between your hands as best you can here. Feet come out wide, so we feel a little bit awkward here in this pose. But then we're going to take a breath in, slide onto your belly, and lift your upper body up into extended cobra. Keep your elbows bent, relax your shoulders away from your ears, and if your feet haven't already come out wide apart, you can widen them here. Take a big breath in, open up your chest and your heart. And then as you exhale, slowly start to drag your hips back towards your heels. Big toes come back together, forehead drops towards the mat, and you're back in your extended child's pose. Let's do that a few more times. So when you're ready, inhale, press your hands down, pull yourself up, drop your chest in between your hands, slide onto your belly, and then scoop up for extended cobra. Relax your shoulders, bend your elbows. Big breath in. Exhale, drag it back. Extended child's pose. 2 more times like that at your own pace. Inhaling forward. Open up the front of your body. Exhale, child's pose. Last time. When you're back in your child's pose, we'll settle there for a moment, finding something to become interested in within your body. From here, hands press back into your mat, pull yourself up. This time, bring your toes onto your mat, and we're making our way into downward facing dog. So you can lift your knees, then drag your hips up and back. Knees can stay bent here. You're trying to point your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Release your head towards your mat. Maybe your ears are in line with your biceps. You might start to notice that the more you can drop your head, the more of an opening you can find within your shoulders, your chest, and your heart space. So once you've found that opening, take a few big breaths, filling up that cavity space within your upper body, filling it with new and fresh breath. In just a few more seconds here, keep pushing yourself away from your hands, tailbone pointing up to the sky. And on an exhale, drop both knees onto your mat. We'll make our way to lie on the back now. So you can swing those feet out in front, have your hips in the center of your mat, and then come on down. You can lie here in corpse pose or shavasana pose for a moment with your palms facing up, arms and legs taking up lots of space. Give yourself a moment to feel your breath, feel all the energy within your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes again, maybe just to bring yourself back. And we're coming into bridge pose now. So you can have a bend in your knees, ankles roughly beneath the knees here. Hands can reach down towards the heels and then press your lower back into your mat. So your tailbone is pointing out between your legs almost. Try to keep it pointing in that direction and then lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Really expanding your belly with each breath in, trying to touch your chest towards your chin. And if you really want to open up the shoulders a little bit more here, you can interlock your fingers and then walk your shoulder blades towards the center of the mat. We won't stay here for too long. Try your best just to feel everything that this pose is bringing up. Each inhale opens up your chest again. Preparing to come out of the pose, you can undo your fingers. Bring one vertebrae at a time back onto your mat. Once your hips have landed, bring your knees up into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs and give yourself a really big hug here. Now we'll move into our next pose, which is a really great way to open up the chest and the shoulders, and it is called a fish pose. So we're going to have two options here. One option will involve a pillow, so if you have one nearby, grab it and pick the firmest pillow you have. So if you want to go with the, let's call it easier option, you'll have your pillow in underneath your shoulder blades. And then try to bring the crown of your head towards your mat. Allow your arms to come wide with your palms faced up. And this pillow underneath the chest will just help you to open up the chest and breathe a little bit deeper. So that's our first option. If you want to do it without the pillow, then we will do that now. So your feet are together and flexed, so your toes are pointing up. Have your palms in underneath your hips, palms facing down. Take a breath in and look up at your feet and then prop yourself up onto your elbows. You can walk your elbows as close to each other as you can get them. Take another big breath in to open up your chest. Then slide back slightly, bringing the crown of your head as close to the mat or onto the mat. So now your elbows are opening up your chest. Take advantage here. Breathe in as deeply as you can. And each time you exhale, you're getting rid of stale air from your lungs. not staying here for too long. Option to have a pillow in underneath your head if it needs a little bit of support. One more full breath in and out. Then use your next inhale to gently pick your head up, looking at your feet again, and then you can remove one hand at a time or remove the pillow if you are lying on it, and then come back down to lie in Shavasana or corpse pose, palms facing up. Take up as much space as you need to. Notice the effects of all the poses that we've done for your chest and your shoulders. And just let your body absorb the benefits of all of those poses now. I encourage you to stay here for as long as you can, just resting on your mat. If you want a guided relaxation, I'll leave a video link here that you can do now. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Once you're done with your relaxation, I would love it if you could leave this video a thumbs up or maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out that playlist for your next practice, and I'll see you soon.